again, I'd like to remind the audience to turn off your cell phones. The recording of this forum is copyrighted to the League of Women Voters 2025, and personal recordings and pictures are not allowed. So please, do not record anything. We will go after you legally. Sorry. Please remain silent and hold your applause until the end of the forum. There are 3 candidates for City Clerk: Gabi Grossbard, who will not be able to be here this evening, but I will read his statement with opening comments, Wynette Guy, and Coretta Hogue. The candidates will have 1 minute for opening statements, and then we will do it first with Gabi's statement, and then the 2 candidates here. My name is Gabi Grossbard, and I'm a small business owner, Grossbard, a 23-year community member and resident of Southfield, and now a candidate for City Clerk. I would like to apologize for not being here to answer your questions. Earlier today, I flew to San Antonio with my wife and our youngest son, who is scheduled for surgery tomorrow at a pediatric microtia specialist. We have been recording this surgery since January, and it cannot be rescheduled. I thank you in advance for understanding this important family medical matter, and that my absence from this candidate forum is not due to lack of interest in earning your vote. In fact, the opposite is true. I am committed to working to earn every vote so I can win the honor of serving the community as your next Southfield clerk. If you have any questions, topics you would like to discuss, my campaign manager, Ms. P., is sitting in the front row and would like to welcome any and all conversations. When you fill out the November ballot, you will see my name printed in the race for City Clerk. I ask that you vote for Gabi Grossbard. And then we will start with Ms. Guy.
Well, good evening, everyone. A lot of you don't know who I am. My name is Wynette Guy. That would be WYNETTGUY for my supporters. I am a lifelong public servant. I've done time in the military. We're pastors, so we're used to helping and being there for people in the times of crisis and their needs. I've also been a volunteer on a sexual assault victims coordinator program. So I'm not new to the public service area. I may be new to you, but that's not anything that's new to me. As clerk, my priorities would be to first make sure we get the office up to speed as far as technology, reinstate the communication between the people and to the government, and then just to make it a place that's not a contentious place, but a place that's cohesive, that we can work together to get things done.
Thank you. Ms. Hogue?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Coretta Hogue, and I am seeking the vote from Southfield voters for the position of City Clerk. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this opportunity for the voters to get to know the candidates for the upcoming election. I am proud to be a resident of Southfield and proud of the service that I've given this city for over 25 years. I've served on my neighborhood association executive board. I've been a trustee and commissioner for many boards and commissions in the city of Southfield, and I currently sit on the city council. I am stepping up to be your next city clerk because I believe that I have demonstrated my love, commitment, knowledge, and work for the city since the year 2000. And today, I know that I can step up and do the job because of my documented experience, as well as knowledge for city operations, as well as elections. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will begin the question and answer period. Again, there's 1 minute per answer, and we will begin with Ms. Guy. Do you have any experience in running or operating an election precinct?
Good question. My experience with running and operating an election precinct is when I first began as a volunteer in the area. I became an election worker, just wanting to just do my civic duties, volunteer and help. But then I was asked to come into the office and actually work for the city. So I've worked for one of the toughest elections this past November. We were there for days and hours making sure that everybody's vote was counted, that everybody had a chance to vote, that every absentee ballot was counted, and that every person that wanted to be heard was absolutely heard. I've also processed all the requests that come in as far as birth, death records. I've been instrumental in at least getting started with the Freedom of Information Act request, passing it on to the person that handles that. So I have worked in the office as well as with the elections.
Thank you. Ms. Hogue?
Yes, I do offer that experience, and I will bring to this position extensive knowledge of working in an actual election for many years, specifically in the city of Detroit. I was a team supervisor overseeing the count of absentee votes and a precinct supervisor. The actual title may be different, but it was a title of leadership at a poll location, both again within the city of Detroit. And I bring that up because in one particular instance where I was the precinct supervisor, none of my workers showed up. But I ran that entire precinct all day from open to close, counted every vote. I was able to calm the voters so that they could trust that their vote would be counted and that I would ensure get them to the process. So I was able to pivot in a time of chaos to get the vote counted, and I completed my job, closed my precinct out by 8 p.m., all independently. So yes, I have experience running an election.
Thank you. The next question will start with Ms. Hogue, and the question is, there are a number of issues in the clerk's office not getting work done in a timely fashion. How will you fix that?
One of the things I also will bring to the position is I offer over 30 years of professional experience running an administrative office. I professionally have successfully negotiated contract, ran multi-million-dollar budgets, teams of up to 20 people. I've been able to train folks, write policies and procedures, and be able to handle a very multifaceted department for which you have to be able to not only lead, but then you have to also train people to be able to lead as you do. I have that experience. I have 30 years doing that, and I have shown that within the city of Southfield, and I'm ready to step up and continue that as your next city clerk.
Thank you. Ms. Guy?
Well, I would say, first you have to know exactly what needs to be done in order to implement getting things done within the office and how. I have the experience in the office. I think the first step is making sure that everyone in the office is qualified. I don't think it's a time for people to come in that don't know what they're doing, right? That haven't the experience of touching and processing and answering the questions. I was at the window the entire election, so I can tell you if you were there, I probably am the one that helped you. And so that's the main thing for me right now. My background is in workforce education and training. Training is the #1 place that we need to start, as well as getting the office up to speed.
Thank you, and we'll go start again with Ms. Guy. There are many threats to voting rights today. Please comment on the petitions to change ID laws being circulated today.
Well, one, I think it's very critical to know that myself being the clerk is going to be somebody who is in there to protect the votes, okay? I can't say that for everyone else, but I also can't speak for them. But as far as the petitions going around, making sure that the law is followed to the letter is the biggest thing. Whatever is voted on, to make sure that the votes are actually cast, that the votes are actually counted, and that the people are actually heard. Not trying to bring any type of lawsuit to overturn or to pull anything back. So that's the job of the clerk, is to make sure that all the laws are followed to the T. And so that's what I plan to do, whether it is enforcing an ID or continuing as is, so that's my plan as clerk.
Thank you. Sorry.
You want me to answer?
Yes, please. Sorry.
Okay. ID laws, it's the bottom line is this. As the clerk, you have to just follow the election laws. You got to know them first. And you have to make sure when you talk about experience and knowledge that you truly have it. Being able to say you've been doing the work for a few months does not constitute true and documented experience hands-on. Furthermore, you have to be able to read those laws and know what they mean. We want to make sure people not only know what our charter is, but what those election laws mean. We have to ensure that there is no voter suppression in any kind of way. You want to make sure that election laws are there so that people can vote. You don't want to make it a hindrance, but you just want to make it accessible, timely, and available to everyone. But whatever the laws are, surely as a city clerk, I will follow.
Thank you. Fourth question, we'll start with Ms. Hoag. And this is kind of a dual question. Do you have any support from Southfield officials and city leaders? And what party or organizations have you been endorsed by?
Well, I didn't need to write that down because I have the support of the mayor, the entire city council, as well as the city administration. That tells you right there that they stand behind me to be able to come in on day one and run the office of the clerk because of my knowledge of city operations, to know what the issues are, to know what is needed as a clerk, because some people think it's just about running an election. It's not. You have to be able to work multifaceted across many areas, many people, being able to provide customer service, all while motivating, training people, and all. Again, it's not about just a few months of experience, but I offer 30+ years of that experience, where today I have team members still calling me saying, I'll come work for you. I'm prepared to bring in a team that has experience in elections as well as running a clerk office. I'm ready to go day one.
Ms. Guy?
Well, I'm not sure how she's ready to go day one. She's never done the work. And whether it's 1 month or 1 day, it's a day more experience than another person. So I can tell you this, that knowing exactly what's in the charter is very key and important, as was stated. But the charter also states that you should be stepping down from a position if you're running as a candidate. Even in the ACS, it states that, which is exactly why right now I'm on an unpaid leave of absence, right? Following the law, following the regulations that's held by the clerk. So it's not just about what is being said about having 30 years in this and 30 years of that. What it is, it's about somebody whose heart is in it. You can't be ready day one if you've never done it, right? So I also have the very much support of the Southfield and Lathrop Village Democrats, and I have the support from the entire Democratic Party of the state of Michigan. The entire office, who's worked with me, who knows exactly who I am, has my support as well. So I thank you.
Next question, and we will start with Ms. Guy. How, and please keep your comments down. Lot of rumbling going on out there. How could voter participation be increased, especially with young voters? Ms. Guy.
So young voters, that's a good question. To get them involved, one, reach out to the schools, letting them know at a young age the importance of voting. That's a big one. Not only that, is social media is huge. Meet them where they are. A lot of times we want the youth to come and just kind of take on our own attributes, our own viewpoints, our own desires. But sometimes we need to meet them where they are. Social media is huge for them. We know that they haven't grown up in an era that doesn't have technology. So when we use that to help bring them in, show them the value, show them the importance, show them the reason why there's only one person on the ballot, right? Show them exactly what needs to be done to keep this country what it's supposed to be, a democracy, right? And not a theocracy or a dictatorship. So that's what you do. You show them the importance of it and then guide them through it.
Ms. Hoag?
Yes, thank you for that question. I think the difference between me and the other candidates is that as a city council person already, I've already made strides in that by talking to the school board to develop programs where you not only educate the youth about the process so that they can be encouraged to vote, but have programs where they're registered to vote on site at the schools. Also developing a work study program where you bring the students to work in the office so that they, again, not only know the process, but they can strive to be the next available clerk, as well as hire them to work during our elections. Again, you talk about experience. Where were those suggestions and all of that currently to help bring in the youth? They're here, they're available. We just have to reach out to them. I've already started the process because, again, I've been here working, doing the job, and I'm ready to continue it.
And we'll start this next question with Ms. Hoag. How are you going to protect our information and election workers during elections, considering the issues that we face with this current administration in Washington and Lansing?
Thank you. One of the things is there's always this misconception about issues in the city of Southfield. One of the things, we have a great police force, as well as just simply, we've had great workers, election workers, that volunteer and come during election time. But again, I will work with the city administration, the police department, and everything available to me to ensure that not only that my workers are safe, but that the voters are safe. But again, for the most part, the city of Southfield does its job and does it correctly. We don't see many of those issues, but again, I will be prepared to do that. I know the city administration, I know the city police department, and I will do everything to ensure that workers and voters alike are protected during that process.
Thank you. Ms. Guy?
That's an excellent question. To protect the voters and the workers, she's right. It is a very safe city as far as the police force. Excellent police force. Fire department is on it. I know from experience we have a great staff, a great volunteer group of people, but just making sure that they're trained not only in just the job of being voting election worker or precinct chair or delegate, but making sure that they have some type of disaster preparedness training. I actually was instrumental in that before in a different city when I was working. But letting them know that there are other ways that they can be protected, that they do have a person and people that they can call on. And then increasing and letting them know more about absentee voting. Still, a lot of people in the state of Michigan don't realize that anyone can be an absentee voter, that you don't have to only go in person like used to.
Your time. We've had a couple of questions, and they're all related here. So I'm going to combine them as best I can. It's tough for a write-in candidate to win. What's your strategy to ensure people understand the process? And why are you running as a write-in candidate on the ballot? And we begin with Ms. Guy.
Okay. So my strategy is what I've actually started with already, and I'm going to continue doing, is getting out there, being the face, being at the events, knocking doors, reaching out to people in their homes, whether it's the mail, whether it's via their phone, email, whatever the case may be, doing everything we have to do to get the word out. I'm not a quitter, I'm a fighter. And the reason I'm a write-in is because I wasn't able to get everything that I had to get. We had 2 days. You know, most of these other candidates had a year and the whole beginning of the year to get everything they needed. I had 2 days, and I did what I could do and fell a little bit short. So the person that is on the ballot took it all the way up to the state to get me kicked off because I was on the ballot. So I'm going to continue to fight. I'm going to continue to run the race. Now, I'm not sure why.
Thank you for your answer. And Ms. Hogue.
Thank you. Voters, you know, I wanted to keep this race civil. But when I hear misinformation and lies, I have to straighten that out. When we talk about write-ins, and as the clerk, you should know the charter. And that's why this position needs to be vetted, because you have to be able to know what you read. The charter says you have to step down if you are a certified candidate. I'm the only one who didn't fill out petitions. I just stepped up because I felt nothing personal against the other two, that I offer the most experience and knowledge, and I stepped up. I'm not a certified candidate, which is what the charter says. So I don't have to step down. I'm stepping up, as I always been, to protect the city and to be the most qualified person running for the clerk. Thank you.
And this will be the last question, and it's a great lead-in before your closing statements. And again, kind of combining a couple here because we had several. What qualifications do you have for the city clerk, and why are you running for city clerk?
Again, I'll repeat it just to make sure. I offer over 25 years of city operations experience. I didn't just show up, people. I also didn't just apply for a job so that I could run. I've been here doing the job, volunteering for you residents for 25 years. Let me also say, as your council person, never missed a day. I've been at every meeting. I take advantage of every training opportunity that is offered in the state of Michigan, all while running a job. So let me just say, I don't need a paycheck. I don't need recognition. I don't even need a title. What I want to do is to continue my service to the city, to run. And unfortunately, I am the most qualified, whether folks want to admit it or not. I bring the knowledge, experience, the relationships all throughout the city of Southfield, as well as documented successful 35 plus years in the industry where I'm respected by many leaders of organizations. Thank you.
And Ms. Guy?
Okay, so qualifications, the actual qualification is someone who's done the work. So I've actually been doing the work for just under a year. I'm the one who's been processing all the paperwork, again, been processing the Freedom of Information Acts, processing the death records, processing the birth records, making sure that permits were handed out, processing business licenses, making sure that people are able to communicate back and forth with their wonderful city council. Okay, so I'm the one who's been actually doing the work. That's my qualifications. And why? I stepped up because when we heard that Ms. Jackson wasn't going to be able to run, it was devastating, because then I knew that left one person on the ballot. So I stepped up, and I had the 2 days to get the signatures needed to get. And I decided to submit my paperwork, and I did. And the people in the office, again, are the ones that support me, and they know that I'm there for them and not for a paycheck.
Thank you very much. And that's the time we have for questions. Candidates will now have 1 minute to make a closing statement in reverse order of the opening statements. Ms. Hogue.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you to the League of Women Voters. Voters, I'm going to say again, I am the most qualified. Under a year is not the same as 3 months, okay? Remember that. I have 25 plus years of documented experience. I've served you already. I've gotten your confidence in your vote as your council person, and I'm ready to step up on day one. I'm the only candidate with true hands-on experience. We talk about experience. Maybe it wasn't caught, but I did say I've ran precincts for many years, many years. That is a lot of experience, as well as managing multi-million-dollar budgets, creating policies and procedures, administering HR functions, and I, again, am the one who's ready to go day one. This position is too vital to leave for chance or on-the-job training, or just to show up from a part-time work. Vote for the one that you've trusted before and who have shown you experience and knowledge. Thank you.
Ms. Guy?
Yeah, absolutely. She's right. You can't leave it to on-the-job training, and that's exactly what everyone else will be, on-the-job trainees. Listen, the city clerk's office is one that reflects the city, right? Reflects the council, should reflect the people. We're in a time where we need a new face. We need a fresh face, okay? And that's what I'm trying to bring to the city, to the office, and to the neighborhood, to the people. It's not just about managing paperwork and everything else. It's about safeguarding. It is about safeguarding the democracy and the elections. They're very important, as you can see. We have a president now who's trying to change all of that and trying to give themselves another term, which is downright illegal. And we got a person on the ballot that supports him. So what are we doing here? I am the person that is qualified for this job. I've done it. I'm not here because I need another paycheck. I'm not here because I need to be seen or heard.
Thank you, Ms.
I'm here because this is what my heart desires to do for the city.
Thank you very much to both candidates. I wish you luck, and we'll take a couple of minutes break to bring in the next round of candidates. Thank you.